Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here this evening as we prepare for the season finale for the 5th season of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. Homestead-Miami Speedway has been our venue to crown a champion, and here tonight, 3 drivers for one team will add their name to the list of past champions in Duracell Cup Series competition, joining the likes of Chris Dollerton, Ryan Acosta, Jordan Lopez, and Carson Gum. For 4 drivers, they're going to go out there with a chance of being able to win the championship for their respective teams. For 8 drivers that on other weeks drive those particular machines, they're on pit road. Some of them maybe in the infield in the motorhome, some of them probably up on the pit box. They are going to be pacing back and forth here tonight, seeing if indeed by the end of this evening they will be able to call themselves champion. It's a very unusual system where it ends up being that your opportunity to be a Duracell Cup Series champion actually is reliant on a teammate of yours. But that's the way its system works here this season, and should be a very interesting one here tonight. Outside of the Daytona 500, I think this is maybe the easiest race for all drivers involved to have a goal set. For 25 drivers that aren't battling for the championship, the strategy is simple. Try and end out the season with the final checkered flag on the year. For those that are returning into season 6, get that nice momentum heading into next year's Daytona 500 weekend. But for the 4 drivers that are in the cars here tonight that are competing for the championship, the goal is simple for them as well. You don't necessarily have to go out there and win this race. You just have to know where the other 3 competitors are and be the highest finisher. We mentioned this last week at Rockingham. Bonus points will not come into play tonight. That includes bonus points for a lap led, bonus points for most laps led. They will count towards the drivers that aren't battling for the championship. Those extra points might be important for them gaining a spot or 2 in the final point standings, but for the 4 playoff contending drivers, the bonus points will not count. Highest finishing driver of those 4 will be declared the champion, and the 2 subsequent teammates will be champions as well. We're going to be talking in a little bit as well about the possibility of drivers that could be going into Season 6 as defending champions. But first, let's take a look at the lineup here, at least the first couple of rows. The driver of the number 19, Carson Gum, came into this race as the defending champion. Well, Matthew Rodriguez is in the 19 car here tonight in the season finale. Carson was, of course, eliminated back during the round of 8. And so the 19 car, they're going to look to make Homestead still a very special place. 1 season removed of Carson winning the championship. Matthew Rodriguez trying to get that 19 their 3rd win on the season and 2nd of Matt Rod's career here in season 5. He'll be alongside of our highest starting playoff contending driver, and that is the rookie Caleb Fogler in the 09 MS3 Motorsports. Fogler is going to be returning next season as he'll be driving for Blue Oval Automotive, swapping from Chevrolet to Ford, and good starting track position here tonight. Would it be enough for himself, Stephen Pollard III, and Kyle Matthews to be able to call themselves Duracell Cup Series champions? We'll have to wait and see. Daniel Voiles going to make up row number 2 alongside of Kat Batson. A couple of blue ovals back there in row 2. Kind of want to bear in mind the fact that Ford has had a bit of a stranglehold here on Homestead-Miami Speedway. In the last 4 times we've run here at this 1.5-mile racetrack, Ford has gone to victory lane in 3 of those with Jordan Lopez, Jose Mills, and Keith Batson. Kyle Matthews is actually the only non-Ford that has gone to victory lane here back in season 3 in his Chevrolet. So we'll see if Ford can maybe go 4 for 5 here tonight in Homestead, Miami, Florida. If we're looking for the rest of our 3 playoff contending drivers, they are lined up as follows. Alexander Rowe has the number 78 positioned on the outside of row 6 in the 12th position. Roberto Crown Jr., 2-time winner this season, basically a big reason why the 77 was even in playoff contention by the end of the regular season. He's going to be lined up in 15th place, and Pierce Crone will be the furthest back of the 4 playoff contenders, but he'll be starting up inside of the top 20 in the 17th position in that number 8 out of Haas Racing. Toyota has a 75% chance of taking the championship here this season. Looking for what would be their 2nd championship overall. Ryan Acosta had the 1st back in season 2. And Auto Junction Racing has a 50% chance of winning the championship here tonight, with both their 77 and 78 cars represented inside of the Final 4. So who knows what's going to happen here tonight, but 67 laps will be determining it. And by the end of the night, we will know who's going to get that final checkered flag, who's going to be hoisting that championship trophy. We can't get to any of that, though, until we go down trackside for pre-race ceremonies. We'll have the command to fire the engines right after the singing of the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proud
Drivers, start your engines.
As the command is given, these drivers will roll off the front straightaway behind the pace car, and for one final time here in Season 5, we're going to give you your starting lineup for tonight's race. Matthew Rodriguez lining up on the pole position, Caleb Vogler to his outside in row 1, Daniel Voiles and Keith Batson, Cat Batson rather, in row 2. Reggie Fogelman will make up row 3 with Alex Tanker. Row 4, Allison Rodrigo and Carson Grob, and the top 10 will be completed by Colin Cropley and Andrew Davis. Zachary Taylor lines up on the inside of row 6 alongside of Alexander Rowe. Riley Henry and Cole Deaver will make up row number 7. Row 8 finds Roberto Crown Jr. and Mike Tellier. Row 9 with Pierce Crone and Jacob Thibodeau. Top 20 completed by Adam Garcia and Harrison Ponder. Ryan Acosta and Jordan Lopez, they're going to be back in row 11. Row 12 with Michael Norman and Andrew Gonzalez. Benjamin Miles and Mitchell Collin, they're in row 13. Row 14 with Jackie Halleck and James Shelley. And completing the 29th and final spot here this evening will be the 11 of Will Goss. Only one driver, one defending winner here from Homestead in the field. Took the very first checkered flag back here in Season 1, that being Jordan Lopez. For the others here tonight, they're looking for their first win of their career here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Who'll get the final checkered flag? 4 drivers to battle for the championship, and the green flag is waving at Homestead. Matthew Rodriguez leads lap 1, 3 wide behind him. Vogler gets forced way up to the top side with Voiles to the middle, and Allison Rodrigo looking on the inside line. Voiles will clear for that second spot as Vogler trying to find his way down. Not successful just yet. Car he's got to worry about right now that is rapidly working his way to the front is the 8 of Pierce Crone. Crone's already up inside of the top 15, maybe up inside the top 10 if he continues on that inside line. Vogler has now made his way to the middle. Might be able to clear Colin Cropley. He does. He'll slot into the 4th position. There's the 8. Pierce Crone on the inside of Andrew Davis, 3 wide. Almost saw some contact back there between playoff contending driver Roberto Crown Jr. and Benjamin Miles. Now Crown Jr. just behind his teammate Alexander Rowe in the 78. As Vogler's going for second up here on Allison Rodrigo, and looks like he's going to take the spot. Chevrolet is looking to go 1, 2, 3 with Colin Cropley riding in the tire tracks of the GoBowling.com Chevrolet. Now Vogler slips up a little off of turn 4. And Cropley wants the second spot, maybe 3 wide as Riley Henry takes a peek low. Whoa, I think there was contact right there. Cropley was completely sideways as I think he had his right front into the left rear of Allison Rodrigo. Very nearly had our first caution of the night. Nice save by the Cracker Barrel Chevrolet driver. Vogler clear for second place. Now Riley Henry trying to take third. I was looking at the scenarios coming into tonight as well. Of the 12 drivers represented in the final 4 teams, only 4 drivers have the chance of going into Season 6 as a defending champion. They would include Caleb Vogler, who, as I mentioned, is going to be driving the 28 for Blue Oval Automotive next season as he's going for the lead here. Remember, no bonus point for a lap led, but certainly out in front might be the safest place to be as we got a wreck in the back. Jacob Thibodeau turned off the nose of, I think that might have been Harrison Ponder in the 48, and I don't see a caution. There is no yellow. You see there, the green lights are still on. So no caution out for the contact between Ponder and Thibodeau on the front straightaway. We still stay green. Thibodeau continuing there, but a lot of damage on that Steak and Shake Chevrolet. You can see the skid marks on the front stretch. We'll show you, courtesy of the X-Ray Split Cam, what took place there. I'm amazed that that hard of an impact did not bring out a caution, regardless of the fact that it was at the rear of the field. We still stay under green flag conditions, but Fogler, we already documented, he's got a chance of going into Season 6 as a defending champion. Kyle Matthews returning to that 09 as the only driver of the 09 next season, since we're not doing the teams in Season 6. He would be able to have an opportunity of going into that season as defending champ. Matt Haas will be back in the number 8 next season. He's got Pierce Crone basically deciding his destiny here tonight. There is the 8 car now, moving up into the 4th position if he can get by Matthew Rodriguez. The other driver would be Ryan Butcher. Will be in the 78 next season. Butcher is relying on Alexander Rowe here tonight. It's interesting when you looked at the drivers that were slated as the Tri-Terry drivers here tonight that were going to be taking the green flag of the remaining playoff contenders. The advantage certainly had to go into the corner, one would assume, of the 77 team, since Roberto Crown Jr. is the only of the 4 drivers that has gone to victory lane. He's done it twice. Caleb Fogler is the only driver of the 09 team that hasn't gone to victory lane. Pierce Crone's the only driver of the 8 team that hasn't gone to victory lane. And Alexander Rowe's the only driver of the 78 team that hasn't gone to victory lane. So, you know, the team owners had the decision of who they wanted to put in the car for running the Daytona 500 as the primary driver, or to battle for the championship as the Tri-Terry driver. And these drivers here that managed to make it into the Final Four now have a lot of pressure on them. As a matter of fact, it's interesting too, because you look at all 4 of these drivers and only one of them has veteran experience, that being Alexander Rowe, who ran a full-time season back in, I believe it was season 4? No, season 3, when he drove the number 24 for Northeast Motorsports. Fogler's the leader, Crone's in 4th. I make that Crown Jr.'s up in 10th. A car that is right now kind of fading is the 78 of Alexander Rowe. Right now he is mired back in the 16th position, but is still with this lead pack. One thing I've noticed here tonight that is very encouraging, something entirely different from what we've seen in the last few season finales here at Homestead, is both the inside and the outside having the capabilities of working. In the last at least 2 that I can remember, maybe 3 Homestead-Miami races, it was the top line that actually was the preferred line, and very few times would you see someone jump up there to make a pass. So the fact that you can make a move on the inside, eventually complete a pass, but also hold your ground on the top side, this may end up being one of the best season finale races we are going to be having here in the last couple of years. And that 8 of Pierce Crone started all the way back in 17th, was the last of the playoff contenders on the grid, and he's now going for 2nd on Andrew Davis. Caleb Fogler, is he looking out the windshield, or is he taking a couple of glances at the rearview mirror? Because the battle for the lead, if Crone completes his pass on the 93, would end up being the battle for the championship as well. And what a bookend season it would be for Haas Racing. Matt Haas taking the checkered flag in the season opener Daytona 500 that all but secured that team already a spot in the playoffs, and for Pierce Crone to cap it off here tonight with a checkered flag and a championship, and of course as well do something that no team has managed to do yet this season, and that's have all 3 of their drivers go to victory lane. There's a number of teams that are close. The 09, the 8, the 93, the 1, the 19. They They've had at least 2 of their drivers go to victory lane, but haven't been able to get that third one to be able to capture a checkered flag. Battle for the lead, battle for the championship, about to take place here. 18 laps into this 67-lap event. Pierce Krone drives it right to the bumper of Caleb Fogler, puts air on the spoiler, gets him a little loose, and he's going to stick his car to the inside down the front straightaway. Again, no bonus points for a lap led, but it would put the 8 in front of the 09 and subsequently have the 8 sitting in the championship spot. Still a long ways to go in this race, though. We've also got the possibility of green flag pit stops. That's going to be interesting. Championships have been won and lost on pit road in the past. Tonight may be no exception. Krone officially did lead that lap. Not yet able to get clear on the 09 of Caleb Fogler. Now Andrew Davis jumps down to the inside. Maybe that possible draft, that bubble of air, will help propel the 8 clear into turn 3. Adam Garcia. And the 2, last time these Tri-Terry drivers were on track, he went to victory lane for the 4th win of his career, and now he's going to get to the inside of Andrew Davis for 3rd, looking for back-to-back wins in as many starts to end off the season. Michael Norman right there as well in the 1 car. Mentioned about a lot of drivers here tonight trying to carry some good momentum into next season. We know that Norman's going to be moving to the 22 as Michael Norman Motorsports will be Ford Mustangs next year. You see the 15, the Hertz Chevrolet of Benjamin Miles just behind him. Miles going back to Northeast Motorsports in the 25. Hearing that engine, I keep hearing it, especially down this back straightaway. I believe that's Jacob Thibodeau, who returned back to the racetrack after repairs when he got spun off the nose of Harrison Ponder earlier on. He's 2 laps down. There he is. He'll go a 3rd lap down for sure when they catch him. But the question is, where will they catch him? And could that maybe shuffle things up for the race lead? But the fact that caution did not come out and we remained under green, this race has flown by. I mean, we're already a 1/3 of the way through. And we'll have to see when the pit stops take place as well, because we're looking roughly about lap 34 would be the furthest these guys will be able to go on just a 1 stop. If they come to pit road any sooner than that, then either it's going to be really close for the fuel window or they'd have to come to pit road twice in this race. Garcia for the 2nd spot on Caleb Fogler as they're stacked up 3 wide, and look who's benefiting from this. The 77 of Roberto Crown Jr. trying to make his way up inside of the top 5 as they are stacked up 3 wide. The 3rd lane is the lane that's being held up by the Chevrolet of Jacob Thibodeau, slowing off the pace. Michael Norman, Riley Henry, Andrew Davis, and it looks like Ryan Acosta all really paying the price for that as they're trying to shuffle the 6 out of line. Crown Jr. has made his way now up to the 6th position, under fire from Allison Rodrigo for that spot. He'll hold on to it though as he clears across the nose of the Insignia HDTV Ford. And Fogler is starting to drift back. Garcia's going to get 2nd from him. Miles looking for 3rd. Matthew Rodriguez 3 wide for 4th. No, I thought he wasn't quite going to get there, but he forced his way in there. Miles almost did not give him the necessary room. And they're going to make some contact there off of turn 4. I don't think Miles was all that pleased about that move. Caleb Fogler and Roberto Crown Jr. right around this position say, hey, guys, sell this out, please. At least somewhere where we're not. How much of a fight does Pierce Krone put up here against Adam Garcia? Since if Garcia wins, it doesn't take Pierce Krone out of the championship slot. He's just got to stay ahead of the other 3 championship contending cars, and right now that's where he's at. So if he was running second, he would still have Caleb Fogler in his rearview mirror. And Garcia's going to be aggressive here. Garcia's not going to let up. Pretty much for all these teams outside of the championship competitors, they got nothing left to lose. If they finish the season with a DNF, okay, well, you know, it's the season finale. Your points end after tonight. Go out there with all you've got. Try and get that final checkered flag of the year. Also a little bit of pride on the line for the drivers and the teams that didn't make it into the playoffs, as we got pit stops. We'll get to that in a moment. A lot of them diving onto pit lane, having to use that access road into turn 3. Got a number of drivers that are electing to stay out as well, though. About a good half dozen, maybe more. And these pit stops are taking place on lap 30. So if this is the furthest they can make it, they are going to have to come to pit road within 10 laps to go at the closing stages of this race. Could end up seeing some pit strategy come into play. Here come the rest of the drivers that did not pit the last lap. Roberto Crown Jr. led a lap there in the 77, so going off sequence from most of the other playoff contenders, as I believe that the 78 was also on pit lane the last lap along with the 8 and the 09. So going to be coming down a rather congested pit road and might not be able to get into his pit box. Look out. Having to split James Shelley and Ryan Acosta, but Roberto Crown Jr. does indeed get into his pit stall. It appears without incident. However, not sure how slow he might have been. And Pierce Crone's going to win the battle off of pit road. Benjamin Miles will come out in second. Then Adam Garcia and Caleb Fogler of the drivers that pitted 2 laps ago. And look at the run Benjamin Miles is getting up to speed here in the draft of the 8 car. Things are going to get spread out now. And it's going to come down to if you're going to be able to find yourself a person to draft with or a pack of cars. This is not a super speedway, but it is very draft reliant. And Roberto Crown Jr., that strategy almost worked to get him the race lead once everything cycled around, but he's going to be maybe 5th, I think, here once everything's finished. We're going to get split 3 wide there. Fogler to the inside of Adam Garcia for what eventually I think is going to be 3rd. You're going to have 3 of your championship drivers up here inside of the top 5. Not sure where Alexander Rowe's going to cycle around, but it's not going to be inside the top 10. I know that. Harrison Ponder was in danger of going a lap down there if we had not had that pit stop to break things up. Now he's about to get caught. Looks like he might have gotten some damage from that wreck as well. I'm seeing some potential left front damage on that National Guard Chevrolet. Actually, you can see a buckle there on the front of the hood. So he might have actually gotten the inside wall when the 6 car did. But Benjamin Miles now to the race lead. Pierce Crone still sits in the champion slot. Then you got Adam Garcia, Caleb Fogler, Roberto Crown Jr. here, 3rd through 5th. We'll see if they can work together to get up there and reel in the top 2. Last time by, they were 1.2 seconds back, and this time by, they cut it down by 2/10. So yeah, they are closing in. Alex Tanker's now up to 6th, with his teammate Mitchell Collins right behind him in 7th. So both of the Joanna Atwood Motorsports cars running very well. Mike Tellier's number 55 out of Gunther Motorsports right now in 8th. 9th, Allison Rodrigo, and pole sitter Matthew Rodriguez just took the 10th position away from Riley Henry. Where is Alexander Rowe? He is back in the 17th position. 78 cars started 2nd highest of the championship 4. But it's not really seemed to have the car to get up here and be able to battle inside of the top 10, let alone the top 15. Collins and Tanker got swallowed up by that group, and they might catch up here to this group, which now is comprised of 6 cars. If you also include in the now lap machine of Harrison Ponder in the 48. Pierce Crone took the lead back from Benjamin Miles. That might have been self-preservation to not allow the 77 or the 09 to get by him. And they're catching the 6 of Jacob Thibodeau once again. That's going to help that second pack out. This also helps the second pack, and the fact these guys are racing double and 3 wide. It's going to stifle their momentum and allow that second pack to be able to continue to close in. We'll keep an eye on the top left there on our ticker and see if they are indeed closing in time-wise. Last time by a little under 3 seconds. This time by, did they close? They did, by 2/10, so they are faster. Let's look at Pierce Crone using the draft of that slower machine of Jacob Thibodeau to get a run on him through 1 and 2. He'll go to the inside. Roberto Crown Jr. doesn't want to get stuck behind the lap cars. He's going to take it 3 wide to the inside. Caleb Vogler right there with him. Look at this, nose to tail, 3 of the 4 championship drivers. The 8, the 78, the 09. Most often, from what I can remember in our season finales, it's kind of been a runaway with the championship. We haven't really been able to see 2, 3 drivers battling it out in the same proximity of the racetrack for the championship, but we're seeing it here tonight. And it's 3 rookies. You saw the 6 of Jacob Thibodeau heading on to pit lane. That is a regularly scheduled pit stop for him. The unscheduled stop to repair damage from the earlier incident threw him completely off sequence with everybody else. First, second, and third. The cream rising to the top right now. Your championship drivers, Crone, Crown, and Vogler. And Roberto Crown Jr. wanting to take the race lead. All 3 of these drivers have led tonight. Vogler has led 13 laps, Crone has led 14, and Roberto Crown Jr. just crossed the line and led his 3rd lap of the night. Only 2 other drivers have led here this evening, Benjamin Miles for 5 laps and pole sitter Matthew Rodriguez for 5 laps. And now Vogler wants the race lead back. Now, I don't think there's any possible way that these drivers are going to be able to save enough fuel to make it the rest of the way. We're going to see them back down pit road, I would say, somewhere around lap 58 to 61. But it's going to be the money stop, and it's a big question mark, too. You wouldn't have to take on a full can of fuel, so would you even bother to take on tires? Would you go with right sides only, maybe? Would you go with fuel only, as, my gosh, Adam Garcia throwing a big block there on Pierce Crone. Look at these 2. Ooh, I think there's a little something brewing between those 2. Kind of seems like if someone makes a late move into turn 4 on somebody, or into turn 3 on somebody, they don't exactly show their appreciation for that off of turn 4. We saw Benjamin Miles get into it with somebody earlier on, the same kind of situation. And now Vogler, clear for the race lead and clear for the championship at this point in time. Miles right behind him, though, trying to get the 15 car. Its 2nd win of the year. Tim Walsh, the only driver for Legend Racing that took a checkered flag earlier on this season. Unless we get a caution, I think it's going to be a 3-horse race. Alexander Rowe still mired back in the 15th position. And the worst part for him is that group that he's with, I don't think have a chance of getting up into this lead group. 7 race cars trying to catch up there to the top 14. And they got a lot of ground, as you can see, to make up. They're almost a little more than half a straightaway behind Jordan Lopez, who's trying to latch on to the very tail end of that single file line of cars, trying to catch up to this lead group, which has now been added to. Mike Tellier's now in this pack. Allison Rodrigo. We're about to add in the teammates of Mitchell Collins and Alex Tanker. Riley Henry, Colin Cropley, Matthew Rodriguez, Andrew Davis, and Jordan Lopez, I think all have a shot of getting up here as well, which would have 14 cars in this lead pack. You notice how long it took for that second pack to reel in the first pack. That's going to be important as well to bear in mind when we have that final round of pit stops, because the field's going to get spread out again. and you're going to have to make absolutely certain that you're at least with the lead group if you're Crone, Fogler, and Crown Jr. Wow, what a gutsy move there by Caleb Fogler, cutting right across the nose of the 48. Down behind the 8 car as they're going to catch Jacob Thibodeau again, and Benjamin Miles going to go around the outside and take the race lead. I think Thibodeau may have done that on purpose. Remember, Benjamin Miles and Jacob Thibodeau, they were both drivers for Northeast Motorsports at the time. Jacob Thibodeau was actually Benjamin Miles' replacement when Miles stepped away from the Duracell Cup Series for a couple of seasons. So a little alliance right there gets the 15 back to the race lead. Fogler was able to take the position from Pierce Crone. That moves him now up into the championship position. And when that second group caused the first group, very costly for the 77 of Roberto Crown Jr. He's now faded back here to the... Well, they had him scored last time by in 13th. He is still in the lead pack. He can work his way back up here to the front. And also remember that Roberto Crown Jr. is at least one lap better on fuel than Fogler, who made contact there with Rodriguez, and Pierce Crone, or with Rodrigo, rather. I thought we were about to have the 09 hook the 21. Fogler's left front was into the right rear of Rodrigo, and we very nearly just had one of our championship contenders out of this race. As look at this, my goodness, 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Pierce Crone shooting up the gap with Garcia to his left and Collins to his right. Mike Tellier is cleared for second. Mike trying to get his first win of his Duracell Cup Series career, looking for the second win for the 55 team. Nick Gunther locked the 55 car into the playoffs with his victory at Bristol Dirt. That team did get eliminated in the first round, though, and Pierce Crone, big run there. Pierce Crone, in my opinion, appears to have the best car of the championship 4 through the center of the corner. Gets amazing runs, especially over in the center of 3 and 4. And right now battling for the second spot, but more importantly ahead of the 09 who's stuck on the top side, and 77 who, since getting kicked back to the 13th spot, has not really made any forward progress. Might be by design, might be trying to save some fuel back there as Fogler got really loose off of 4, almost came down into Garcia. About 5 laps away from when most of these drivers might have to think about coming to pit road. Fuel might be a little bit, might not be able to stretch it as far as they were on that first run since the field got spread out a bit. And a lot of drivers had to kind of run in clean air without the aid of draft. That's why I kind of figure we'll see them sooner than lap 60. Most of them came down pit road on lap 30 for the first round of green flag pit stops. Oh, contact back there. Cropley and Crown Jr. They were 3 wide. Pierce Crone looking for the lead. He might get caught out in the middle, though. Allison Rodrigo is there. Careful! Whoa! Fogler! Into the driver's side door of Mike Tellier. Not a lot of room being given here in the closing stages, and we still got a round of pit stops to go. Middle line got the momentum because of that, and Crone clears for the top spot once again. Oh, you just get the feeling that we might end up having what's been an amazing championship battle here tonight end on a sour note. I feel like we could have ourselves a wreck before this round of pit stops, the way these guys are pinning each other down, side drafting. Been a lot of contact, maybe necessary, maybe unnecessary, depending on which side of it you're on here in these last 5 to 10 laps. And our 3 championship competitors up inside of this top 10 have been in the thick of it. Rodrigo to the lead and watch the battle for second. This is for the lead in the championship standings. Fogler on the inside. Pierce Crone on the top side. We're going 3 wide. They're going to split the 21. 3 by 3, 2 rows deep. Fogler trying to get the run off of 4. He and Rodrigo will still be side by side. We're 4 wide on the front stretch. 4 wide. Someone's got to back out of this. Oh, gosh. Riley Henry's going to be the one to back out. I think Pierce Krone may have done the same. We're still 4 wide, though, now with Garcia, Miles, Cropley, and Haas. And here comes Tanker to pit road. But we got to stay up here in 3 and 4 because they were 4 wide again. They settled that out. So Tanker's throwing down the gauntlet. He's going to try the short pit strategy. It's on lap 58's completion, right around when I was expecting. I think Tanker led a good portion of that run for the second group, so he would have been not as good on fuel. Let's see if anybody else dives down this time. Yep, here we go. Benjamin Miles, Adam Garcia coming down pit road. It's not the mass migration to pit lane that we saw back between laps 30 to 31. So now we've got a lot of varying strategies here with little packs of cars. Only 2 cars that time. Looks like a few other drivers were on pit road the lap prior. I saw Andrew Gonzalez. Looks like Alexander Rowe, Cat Batson, Reggie Fogelman might have also been on pit road the previous lap. Alexander Rowe just trying to pull a Hail Mary here as he's not been in the championship picture all night. Collins is on pit road now. Rodrigo, Cropley. Roberto Crown Jr. is in. This is a move for the championship for the 77. Rodriguez is in as well. Got some other drivers from the back of the pack as Mike Tellier moves to the race lead. Still got the 09, still got the 8 out. Will they come down pit road this time? Yes for the 09, no for the 8. All 4 of our championship competitors are going to come down pit road on different laps. Krone's going to try and stretch it an extra lap. Riley Henry's going to do the same as he'll lead this lap. And Matt, oh no, Pierce Krone, is he out of fuel? Pierce Krone is out of fuel. He couldn't make it. Why did he stay out the extra lap? I don't know. Now the question is, will he be able to make it back around under his own power? If that car comes to a stop, we may end up having the caution come out. He's going to be off the racing surface, but I don't know if he'll be far enough off. There's cars coming off pit lane. He's going to be stalled on the inside of the racetrack. Look out! Jackie Halleck had to come to a stop to go around him. If the A can at least get to the access road, I think we're okay. But Pierce Krone, a costly mistake. Running out of fuel, that will cost him the championship. He will make the access road. The race should remain green. Mike Tellier, I think, is going to cycle out to the top position. Jordan Lopez looks like he would be in second. Then Fogler in third. Fogler right now would be in the championship position. But look who's right behind him. The 77 of Roberto Crown Jr. This is not over, and we've got ourselves 5 laps to go. Riley Henry returns back to the track. He will not keep the race lead. Tellier goes around the outside. Matt Haas has made it to pit road. Looks like he will be able to get to his pit stall under his own power, but a costly mistake that will not have the championship in the Haas Racing stable here in Season 5. Championship battle brewing with 4 to go. Fogler has it. Crown Jr. wants it. Caleb Fogler will return to the Duracell Cup Series next season. Roberto Crown Jr. will not. Mike Tellier is going to have his hands full because here comes Riley Henry. And how about the 38 of Jordan Lopez, who took the very first checkered flag here at Homestead back in Season 1. The former champ trying to go back to victory lane here in Miami. Caleb Fogler is caught up here to the top 3. Roberto Crown Jr., Colin Cropley look like they'll do the same. Side by side for second. Ford battling for the second position between Henry and Lopez, trying to get Blue Oval, its 4th Homestead-Miami win. Caleb Fogler trying to keep the 77 in his rearview mirror. And Alexander Rose all the way back in 23rd. So it's between the 09 and the 77 here for the championship. And Mike Tellier is going to try and keep them double wide behind him as he'll see the white flag this time. Mike Tellier, the Canadian, looking for his first career win in the Duracell Cup Series. Roberto Crown Jr., if he's going to win this championship, he's got to make the move on Caleb Fogler here in 3 and 4. But he's stuck side by side with the 99 of Riley Henry. I think Fogler's got it. Lopez, one final shot here on Mike Tellier. Off turn 4 for the final time. Mike Tellier is going to win the season finale. Caleb Fogler has S3 Motorsports, their first championship in the Duracell Cup Series. Caleb Fogler, the 09 team, came into the Final Four in the 4th seed. And Fogler is going to complete many things here tonight. He will not only be getting his first championship of his career, he will also be getting Kyle Matthews and Stephen Paul III their first Duracell Cup Series championship of their career. It's the first championship for S3 Motorsports, and it is also going to make Caleb Fogler the defending champion and Kyle Matthews the defending champion heading into Season 6. Fogler also tonight completes the sweep of all 3 drivers of that team going to victory lane. Matthews at Martinsville, Pollard at Auto Club, and, well, actually, no, correction. Fogler didn't win the race, so no, he did not do that. Got myself too hyped, too excited. Wow. What a race here tonight. What a crazy finish in those final 10 laps. And there is your final finish, your results from the season finale. Gunther Motorsports, the 2nd win of the season for them. Mike Tellier, first career win in the Duracell Cup Series with the checkered flag. Lopez brings it home in 2nd. And Caleb Fogler, 3rd place, was enough for him to secure the championship. Riley Henry brings it home in 4th. 5th for Roberto Crown Jr. So close there in the closing stages of being able to get Auto Junction Racing the championship. Brings it home with a solid top 5. Colin Cropley, great run here tonight in 6th. Alex Tanker and Mitchell Collins in 7th and 8th. So both of the JAM cars inside the top 10. Adam Garcia and Benjamin Miles for the completion of your top 10. Pole sitter Matthew Rodriguez 11th. 12th for Andrew Davis. 13th Cole Deaver. James Shelley 14th. And Alison Rodrigo completed the top 15. Alexander Rowe was never in the championship picture here tonight in that 78 car. He finishes a very disappointing 21st, and we saw Pierce Crone running out of fuel. He finishes a lap down in the 28th position. What a tough break there for the driver of the 8 car. He finishes 28th of the 29 drivers. Ponder also a lap down, and Thibodeau 3 laps down to the race leader, the race winner, Mike Tellier. That was fun. That was a fun race to watch, a fun season finale. Not a runaway, as it's been in the past couple of finales. This time you didn't have a clue who was going to win the championship, and a couple of curveballs there towards the end of this race. But congratulations to Caleb Fogler on getting it done tonight. His first career win, first career championship, all taking place in the same night. Stephen Paul III and Kyle Matthews, their nerves must have been shot on those final couple of laps. They are now Duracell Cup Series champions as well. My goodness, what an amazing storybook ending here tonight in what's been an incredible 5th season in the Duracell Cup Series. Let's take a look now at your final point standings for the season. During the playoffs, we've only shown you the playoff standings, but we will also show you the remaining standings as well from 11th on down through 29th of which teams finished where. But the man of the hour, the team of the hour here tonight, is Caleb Fogler and the 09 team. It is Chevrolet's second championship. I believe I've got that right. Yes, it is their second championship in Duracell Cup Series competition. Back-to-back seasons for Chevrolet. As a matter of fact, they now tie Ford with 2 championships apiece. Toyota still sits with 1 championship, and they'll look to even the score in Season 6 with the Blue Ovals and the bow ties. But thank you all so much for tuning in tonight to this season finale. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We showed you your full figure results. We showed you your point standings here for Season 5, and Season 6 is on the horizon. We know the 42 drivers that are going to be in that season, not doing the team-oriented battling next year. What we do know, though, is there are going to be 2 defending champions going into that season, Caleb Fogler and Kyle Matthews. So that will be something we'll have to get used to in Season 6, but should be a good season coming up. A great season here in Season 5. Enjoyed bringing it to you, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Should be a relatively short off season before we get back to Duracell Cup Series competition with the next-gen cars, so looking forward to that. But until that time, congratulations once again to Mike Tellier on the victory here tonight, Caleb Fogler, Stephen Pollard III, Kyle Matthews, and everyone at S3 Motorsports for the championship. And for one final time, you've been watching a broadcast courtesy of the NNSCRA here tonight at Homestead, offline racing at its best. I'll see you guys for Season 6.